What's up, people? It's your main guy, Jonathan, a.k.a. The Millennial General, coming to you live from the House of Hit studio, powered by House of Fresh. Check this out, people. Imagine streaming music online and offline with high-fidelity sound quality. That means you'll be streaming studio master quality music in your headphones and through your Beats by Dre speakers, baby, all day. I'm talking about the highest of the high in quality. Imagine streaming exclusive concerts by Lil Wayne, Beyonce, Jay-Z, J. Cole, Nicki Minaj, and more right from the palm of your hand. Imagine streaming exclusive TV shows like Tales from the Great Mind of Irv Gotti. Movies exclusively produced by Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, DJ Mustard, Yo Gotti, Beyonce, and more. Imagine having access to exclusive music from the biggest stars before it hits the net. Remember All the Way Up? That was on Tidal first by Remy Ma and Fat Joe. Then it went everywhere, but it was on Tidal first. People, listen to me closely in my Jay-Z voice. You don't have to imagine anymore. The dream is now a reality. Tidal music streaming service offers matchless features and benefits for all users. Most importantly, especially for the millennials, and it's super easy to use. Tidal has human curated playlists created by some of the biggest stars in the game. Imagine streaming a playlist created by K. Michelle or J. Cole. Crazy. Tidal also has a super dope feature in Tidal Rising. Tidal Rising showcases independent artists from all over the world and their great talents. So Tidal's also giving back to the indie nation. Tidal speaks for itself. Go to www.tidal.com. That's www.tidal.com and join the revolution right now. Okay, back to our scheduled programming, people. Let's get it.
Pushers Collective understands there is a pusher in everyone and provides the lifestyle and motivation to keep you going through the roughest times. The Pushers Collective clothing line represents the raw, uncompromising, and daring spirit of the young urban American. Go to www.pusherscollective.com. Again, that's www.pusherscollective.com. And check out the white leather P11 snapback featured on everybody from Yo Gotti to Ghostface Killer. Hashtag Push Your Starve, baby. This promo commercial is powered by RAI Radio, the new voice of millennial music.
AT&T knows the best kind of holiday is the kind where everyone gets what they wished for. Make this holiday extra happy when you buy one, get one free on our most popular smartphones. Like the Samsung Galaxy S6. Buy one, get one free. So spread some cheer and capture every minute of it. Right now at AT&T, buy one, get one free on our most popular smartphones.
This is Jonathan with the $1 Million Mindset Talk Show, hosted on the Talk to Shaylin radio circuit, powered, syndicated globally on the RAI radio network, 14 licensed stations, tracked by Digital Radio Tracker. Right now, currently, we have 10 artists, people. That's right, we have 10 artists charting nationally right now, from James Wade with his hot song Lotus, Classroom Majors with I Want Her, Joe Paul, Stoops with his song Freedom, franchise music group Bright Lights, Emperor the Great, Galax, Stromelli, and more. We run the charts. We have nothing but hits. We have some of the rawest independent talent. Our network is also streaming worldwide on Radio Pushers TV. We are the only streaming television network on Amazon Fire and Roku, Apple TV for independent artists, streaming some of the most premium content from around the world. We're honored to have on the $1 Million Mindset today, not only just a young person that's making moves in these streets, not only a young person that's making moves in the business world, actor, entrepreneur, 24-hour hustler. I don't like to call them hustlers. There's some hustlers, and then there's 24-hour hustlers. This guy's a 24-hour hustler. Never sleep. total musician, producer, you name it. He got his finger on the pulse of the culture of music with the millennials. We're honored today to have Scrilla King on the $1 Million Mindset podcast. Welcome, Scrilla, to the $1 Million Mindset.
Hey, what's up, my man? I appreciate you having me, man.
No doubt. Well, you know how to give that Diddy intro, man.
Hey, that was beautiful. I couldn't have said it no better, man. I really appreciate that, for real.
No problem, man. No problem. Well, listen, man, that's the way, that's what it's about. It's about introducing you the right way. I want people to really know how you're moving out here. So listen, let's jump right into it. When you look at 2016 that's about to come to a close, and you think about what you told yourself at the beginning of this year, like what you want to do, things you want to accomplish, stuff you wanted to stop doing, old habits you want to break, how do you feel about this year coming to an end with all your goals and all your aspirations, just the things that you want to do? How would you wrap up this year if you had to make a statement on that?
Hey, every New Year you always make a resolution, and one of my resolutions was just to, be consistent and not be so stagnant and complacent, with myself, with my craft, and with my business. And I was this year. I was way more consistent this year. This was a really a dialed in year where I was able to focus on, getting the album done and just some things that I really wanted to attack for my fans, and I executed, I feel like, correctly. So I would say that's one of the things that, came out real good this year in 2016.
Awesome. And when you think about the grind you've taken to this year, just what you've done for the past almost 365 days, talk about some of the things that you set out to accomplish that actually got done. Like, what were some of the things that you told yourself back in January that you wanted to do that you actually got done so far this year?
Well, first off, I told myself, I said, I want to get my album done, first grade. It took me a while because, first I was dealing with different producers, dealing with the licensing, the publishing, all that. So I told myself, I said, you know what, I want this project to get done. And, just because of the quantity of how many songs I do, but I wanted to get a fan's quality. I wanted each record that I did on the album to have some type of story to who I am and represent me. Another goal I had set I was going to top 500,000, followers on my personal page. And I exceeded that like times 4. I was blessed this year. I think we had like 2.5 million people following me right now. And I just on, one of the pages, and it's been a blessing, man. So I really couldn't, ask for much more this year. I just say that, God been good, and I just been focusing and just getting everything done and just dialing and staying consistent.
Absolutely. When you think about your actual music mentality, business mentality, describe the way you approach your craft as far as the intensity, as far as your preparation. Tell the audience some of the different ingredients that you put into your Scrilla King jambalaya, so to speak.
I would say, man, I always go in open-minded, never thinking that I know everything. And just always, speaking real and just, filling out my life first. I never go write a song unless I know I had something to talk about. There'll be days where I'll take off and I'll do some of, the business side of things, or I might go work out just so that I can still live and still, keep that humanity, and within myself. But I'll just say, just being real to myself, staying true to the art at the purest form. You know what I'm saying? Just being innovative at its purest level.
Absolutely. People, this is Scrilla King on the $1 Million Mindset Talk Show, hosted on the Talk to Shaylin radio circuit, power syndicated globally on the RAI radio network, streaming worldwide on radio, Pushers TV, now available on Amazon Fire, Roku, and coming soon to Apple TV, people, 50 million homes and counting. I want to go into this right here. When you talk about your love for music, you talk about your roots, your craft. Where exactly did that originate from? Like, what initially lit the fire just regarding your music?
Well, I say, man, I'm originally from Haiti, man. Puerto. I came here when I was very, very young. I always just loved rhythm and music. I grew up singing. I played the sax. So music was really, it's crazy because, like I said, one of my resolutions for this year was to stay consistent, and the only thing consistent in my life ever has been music. You know what I'm saying? I just always somehow in my life have always been around music. And it's just something that I love. You feel me? It's not something I just do. I love music. I don't ever think I'm ever tired of making music. I stay up 24 hours making music. I live, sleep, eat, breathe music.
Exactly. And, most people, when they make those type of statements, the music, the brand is such a lifestyle. It's
right.
It's like everything. Like when you walk in that booth and you in that studio with your team, and it's just you, your team, and you in that booth. I mean, what is going through your mind, Scrilla? I mean, like, what type of energy do you feel? I mean, what's the excitement like for you? Because one thing that I like about you is the fact that there's a certain level of just positive energy that comes from you. It's very contagious.
Definitely. And I would say, I make sure the vibe is right first. If I walk in the studio and I don't feel the positivity, I walk out. And I recognize it and hear it as somebody else in the room. Usually I like a lot of colors in the studio. For me, maybe like blue, red, green, just to get me in that mood. Some people, like to smoke. I don't really smoke no more. For me, that's one of the things I stopped actually doing this year. Just so I can stay more focused. But, for me, I would say that just making sure the vibe is good and just making sure that my heart is being true and being real. Because I never go in the studio saying I'm going to make a hit. Because, you know what I'm saying, that's just so cliche. And for one, if you're going in there with a mind state to create something that's already created, you are already following a path that's not your destined path. That's called copying, or that's called imitation. You know what I'm saying? So I never go in the studio and say, I'm going to make a song like this. I go in, I say, I'm going to make the best song I possibly can. And, you know what I'm saying? And through that, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? How am I feeling right now? What's been going on in my life? What do the people need to hear, not do what they want to hear? You feel me? And I feel like, with me, that separates me from other artists. I would say is I'm not really, one of the type of artists to just make music that people want to hear. I make music how I'm feeling. So everything I say is 150% how I'm feeling. And that's it feels good to be able to say that, as an artist. That I mean what I say in my words, right. And I write everything myself,
People, this is Scrilla King on the $1 Million Mindset Talk Show, hosted on the Talk to Shaylin radio circuit. Power, syndicated globally on the RAI radio network. Over 14 licensed stations, tracked by Digital Radio Tracker. We have 10 artists charting nationally at digitalradiotracker.com. In the top 200, top 125 independent, top 50 R&B and hip hop. The new voice of millennial music, now streaming on Radio Pushers TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku, as well as coming soon to Apple TV. If you have an Amazon Fire Stick with the voice remote, simply just say Radio Pushers TV or RPTV, and our channel comes right up. Amazon makes it very simple. Shout out to Amazon Fire and all the products. So listen, let's jump right into this part here. When we're talking about the way you approach developing a song, I know you said that you don't go into there thinking I'm gonna make a hit. But when you do walk into the studio, when you finish your product, what do you think people actually receive from your music? What Pac always felt like I was just on some, I can take over the world. I ain't standing. I'm not taking crap. I'm a black man, and I'm standing for what I be like. Pac always push those buttons. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'd say, man, I'd probably say they can always guarantee there's gonna be substance in my music. Even if it's a song that's, some banging 808, it's just a turn-up song, I always make sure that they walked away with some type of message. You feel me? Like, my whole thing, my pet peeve with music that I hear nowadays, that's, it ain't no disrespect to the game or, some of the artists that have made it up the way they made it, but I feel like there's a lack of lyricism in today's game. And I mean, you brought up Pac, that's a dude who really was very, conscious about his lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was really thinking about what he was saying. A lot of these dudes go in the studio and might get turned up and they don't think about the message. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I don't get turned up in the studio. I ain't saying that I don't make songs for the people for the moment. But at the same time, every song I walk away from, I always make sure, okay, that's an A+. And if it's not to my A+ standard, I scrap it. There's songs where I worked on for maybe 15 hours, did like 10 songs. songs in a row, and I might only keep one of them and scrap the rest. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it's not about putting out, quantity. It's about the quality of the product. And, when I'm making the music, I really make sure that it's got something meaningful to it, because I want every demographic. I want my mom and my grandma and my little sister and everybody to be able to listen to it and still take away something from that record. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what I don't see that in a lot of today's music. Sometimes you got to turn it down just because it ain't talking appropriate. And I mean it don't mean it don't gotta have profanity in it, but what's the message? What are you delivering people, or are you destroying them? You feel me? So it's just like music is powerful, and music being one of the most powerful tools, and I feel like it's a job and a duty to lift people up. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like what you said about the energy, because if I go into the studio with the wrong mind state, best believe the song gonna have the wrong mind state, because I'm upset making it. So I always make sure that first and foremost I'm clean before I walk in there and I'm correct.
Right. I want to, right, absolutely, and I appreciate your insight on that. I want to jump into this part. When you think about the type of music that you've been making, and you think about, the people that it affects, from what because you perform on the road, you're verified on Twitter. I mean, you have a huge following. When you look into the eyes of people during your performances, what do you see on their faces?
Oh man, in the earlier stages of my career, I would really look out at the people, and I would focus on, how they feeling, just what the messages of what I'm saying is actually doing and how they engaging with it. Now, to be honest, man, I go out on that stage, I have tunnel vision, and it's just like I'm out there to speak the message. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there to deliver the message to my full potential. It don't mean that I'm not focusing on the people, but I'm so focused on the moment. You know what I'm saying? The moment itself, and the people are always, interact with them. But I don't think that I go out there and I look at each and every fan and I'm looking at that girl there, or that guy there. I'm not focused on that, because then I might forget a word of my lyrics. I'm focused on saying what, I was meant to say on this earth, and give the people something real, something tangible. Mm-hmm. And that's just really how I approach it, But in the earlier stages, I would look out and I would see, what songs made them jump more, or what songs made people, more excited in the moment. But I got past that, because I stopped, like I said, I stopped making music that people wanted to hear. I started making music that people needed to hear, and that's why this album, First Grade, is something serious. It's something real serious. It's something epic. That's how I would stand behind it 150%.
When you look in the mirror and it's just you by yourself, just you, nobody else. When you look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you see your reflection, what do you actually see in yourself?
Man, growth, prosperity, man. Just I remember the days when I look in the mirror trying to see if I'm cute. You know what I'm saying? Like how good I look. Now I look in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? I just hold my head high, just knowing that I didn't stop. You feel me? I didn't stop. There's many times where, get discouraged. Before I had the fans, before I had, a little bit of change coming my way, before people wanted to hear my message, before anybody ever cared. You feel me? Looking in the mirror used to be hard, because it was a dream. Mm-hmm. And then it went from a dream to being a lifestyle, and that's why it's like a lot of cats, they be like, oh, I want to rap, or I want to do music, or they might look at, what I do as a musician, as an artist, as a songwriter, cinematographer. They might look at it and be like, oh man, you just an entertainer, you just, you here just to make people laugh, or you here just to make music. No, this is what I'm on this earth to do. Just like you may have your 9 to 5, Nancy up the street may have her 9 to 5. This is my 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? This is my job. I wake up every day and I have to think about how I am going to progress in this industry. You know what I'm saying? And how I'm gonna dominate, and how we're gonna put out these messages, and how we're gonna touch people's lives in a positive way.
Absolutely. And thank you for answering that question so honestly. I appreciate that. And the reason why I asked that question is because I like for people, because people see you on social media, Facebook, they don't really know you. And it's important that people hear directly from you as regards to what the business really is. And thanks for clearing
Oh,
it up.
you totally agree with that. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, definitely think that. I want to get into this right here. I want to talk about a moment in your life where it was dark, it was cold, and you were at an impasse and you had to make a decision of which way you wanted to go. Talk about one of those moments. And I know you probably had several, like we all have. I know I've had about 100 of them.
Right.
But talk about the tough times that caused you to make some good, tough decisions. Talk about that a little bit.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Probably when I'm only 23, so, you know what I'm saying? When I was 18, you know what I'm saying? I was doing my thing in the streets in Indiana. You know, there was a moment where, I got caught up in some stuff, and it was just like a life-changing moment for me, personally, just because it was like, either you gonna walk this path and you gonna become that person, or you gonna walk this path and become the person you was always destined to be, or you gonna stand in the middle and you ain't gonna do nothing at all, and you ain't gonna make a decision, and the decision gonna be made for you. So I say it's almost like that crystal ball effect. You got them people in your life who you look up to. You got them people in your life who you be like, I don't want to be like that. And then you got them people in your life who are like reflections of yourself. So I try to, always keep people around me who are like-minded individuals, so that I know I'm always progressing, even when I'm slipping, because I know they're not going to be slipping. You know what I'm saying? So that's really just, one of the changing points in my life was really just focusing on how I was going to get to where I wanted to get to, and make these dreams not a dream, make it a lifestyle. And it changed my whole attack, it changed my whole approach, it changed my whole formulation of how I move in the game and how I associate with people. Like nowadays, I don't even like going to big studios. Like I don't really care how big the studio is. I don't care how famous somebody is no more. To be real, like we're in a new generation where, you know what I'm saying, we can do it with anointment out the closet, you feel me? And you can have a MacBook Pro and turn it on and sound just as good as the cat who got, the whole big studio with the SSL board. And I'm really, I feel like I'm one of those new guys in the game who came up with this internet on a real pioneer level, not like one of the levels where some of the people bite the game that we doing. Like we literally came up with a new way of selling records, a new way of innovating hip hop. And I feel like, that's what really makes my story interesting, is just the way I came up in the game, man. It ain't the same as selling records back in the day where you would sell 10 million copies of a CD because nobody buying it no more, you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely not.
Internet, you know what I'm saying? This whole internet thing is like, I came up in that world, and I happen to be, blessed to have had the opportunity to just really, flourish in it and take it to that ultimatum level. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, your perspective is spot on, because again, the game has changed, and the way that you approach the game has to be strategic via social media, via technology, even what you and I were talking about earlier, like the whole streaming aspect. Even when you look at, okay, everybody got a SoundCloud, everybody has an iTunes account, everybody has, a YouTube account, everybody's on Snapchat, but the constant evolvement of your brand is very important. Like what you and I were talking about earlier, like with Radio Pushers TV, it's a platform where you can go see the latest Jordans that came out and see what people think, or the latest iPhone stuff, or the latest music from Scrilla King. You feel me? It's like that stuff.
Exactly.
That stuff is totally dope, and that's what makes it what it is. So again, I love your perspective on that. It's definitely spot on.
Thank you, my man. Definitely. I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate that for real.
Always. So I want to delve into this real quick. Talk about your new music now. Talk about. We have your video Gas world premiering tonight on Radio Pushers TV. You're actually the 4th video into the mix, so you're gonna get played early. But make sure you have your people watch the whole mix. But your video Gas is your latest video. You drop a lot of virals. Like you're the king of viral content. I love how integrated you are on that. So talk about your video Gas, the meaning behind the video, the meaning behind the song, and all that good stuff. Talk about that.
All right, well, Gas is an interesting record, man. As far as the substance and content in it, I wouldn't say it represents me fully. I wouldn't say that's the song that I would say if somebody said that represent me. As far as this album and the feeling that I have this year about the industry, and as far as just on a technological standpoint and chronologically putting a good record together, and like we were saying earlier, going into the studio with that mind state, that was one of the records where I feel like I hit home base on it. Just because, you know, I went in there and I was like, man, like, you know, I remember watching that Straight Outta Compton, you know what I'm saying, with Dre and them, and it was like, got something to say. What you got to say? And then, like, right when that bass hit, I said, I got something to say. 91 like Jay, 93 like Pod. But nowadays I kill it like I'm Jay and make them feel my way. And I feel like I was just really telling the whole new innovative way of this generation. You feel me? Like some of these, you know, old school cats won't respect some of the new dudes because they may feel like they're not grinding at the level that they had to grind when they came up, or they may have not respected. But see, one thing that, you know, some of us, you know, have that I would say the older generation doesn't have is the ability to market themselves by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So in that record, I feel like I was saying that, you know what I'm saying? I was hot, I was mad, I was going through a situation, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I got something to say, I'm gonna get this message out here. So right off the jump, as soon as the verse came in, it just, you know, it just felt home, it felt comfortable.
Good, man, good, definitely. What has been the viral reception of the record?
I mean, I would say 90% of the people are saying that's one of their favorite songs on the album, just because it's, you know, it's a dope beat. You know, the video's crazy. We had the drones, we had the 4K camera. You know, we shot the video right when those scooters came out, and I was on my scooter. I think, you know, I feel like everybody felt my energy in the video. In the video, you could literally feel, you know, my presence, and that's exactly what I wanted out of the record. I didn't want the record to feel soft spoken, and it definitely didn't. It didn't get that effect. It gave that presence. It gave that volume, and you know, I felt like for what it was worth, I did what I did on that record. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you definitely put your Scrilla King stamp on that for sure. That goes without, you know what I'm saying? Like, that goes without saying, definitely for sure. I want to say this. The thing I like about you the most is I love how persistent you are with everything. There is a certain level of persistency with you that is very rare for a young artist. You know, I can hear in your voice, there is no quit, there is no stopping, there is no nothing. Like, you going to get it, and you're not going to ever stop. Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And that's truth, man. That's real, man.
So I feel that genuinely. You know, I have a gift of instinct, and instinctively I can just tell things, and that's what I see in you. So very, very impressed by that. Let's go into how people can locate you on social media. Shout out your handles on your team and everything like that.
Well, they can follow me at Scrilla King on all social media. SCRILLAX.
Say that slow, my brother. Say that slow. Say that slow. Say that slow.
SCRILLAXKING. They can follow me at Scrilla King on Facebook, Scrilla King Official, YouTube, Scrilla King Official. You know, stay in touch with me every day at 3 p.m. on my Facebook. So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say thank you for, you know, you having me, my man. I really appreciate you, bro. You dropped a lot of gems on me today. And, you know, shout out to Pusha Radio, for real. Y'all doing it big over there, man, for real.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. What have you enjoyed the most about being on the $1 Million Mindset podcast today?
You know, the realness, man. You know, I ain't got to get on here and talk about stuff that don't matter. You feel me? A lot of interviews, you know what I'm saying? People ask me just, I wouldn't say ignorant questions, but I would just say, man, it's not nothing that whoever's listening gonna be able to take and apply it to their life and digest it in a way where it's meaningful. It's just content for the moment. So that's one thing I like, you know what I'm saying, about you, my man, and you know, the station is that, you know, y'all got a level of, you know, how would I say that? A level of conversation that most stations don't have. You know, a level of conversation, a perspective that most people just don't tap into, and I feel like that's important. Because, you know what I'm saying, there's people dying over Jordans to get people want to talk about, you know, maybe what Beyonce was wearing at the AMAs or something. Ain't nothing against Beyonce, girl. I love you, baby, but, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? I'm just using that hypothetically. You feel me? Like, we're not really always talking about the moment in some of our interviews. In this situation, I feel like this really, hits the nail in the coffin. Somebody can walk away with something and they can apply it to their life, and that same, utilization can be used to help them get to their next level. You feel me?
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing that's so refreshing about you and your brand, man. You got a very honest brand. You got a brand that's growing. And most of all, you're investing into your own career via time, via money. You got a lot of that going on, man. So definitely appreciate that. We thank you for being on the Million Dollar Mindset Talk Show today, hosted on the Talk to Shaylin radio circuit, power syndicated globally on the RAI radio network. Our featured sponsorship product today is the Amazon Fire Stick. People, get connected to over 7,000 applications, free news, over 300,000 movies, strictly through the Amazon Fire Stick. Cut the cord. It makes no sense paying all that money for cable. Get your Amazon Fire Stick at Amazon.com or at your local Best Buy. Here's the coolest thing about the whole Amazon Fire Stick is voice command. You push a button and you tell Alexa, hey, Radio Pushers TV, and it pulls it right up. Netflix, it pulls it right up. So get access to sports, news, entertainment, Twitter, Pandora, Spotify. Everything is right in your hand, and take it with you on the go. I'm telling you, it's the wave for all the millennials. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Pushers, at Radio Pushers TV, at REI Radio Live. The same thing is on Instagram at New Hype Beast, at Renegade Revolt, and at Radio Pushers. Listen, Scrilla King, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege, man. We are forming a partnership with you. We're going to be launching. People, get ready for SKTV. It's going to be bananas.
Let's do it.
SKTV.
Let's do it, man. I appreciate you, dog.
It's coming, man, for sure.
Let's do it, baby. I appreciate you having on me, man. Shout out to the station for really got doing it big.
All right, man. Shout out to REI Radio Live. That's a Twitter, and REI Radio is a network. Listen, we'll be talking soon. Thank you for being on the talk show, on the podcast. God bless and good night.
You too, my man. You too, bro. Stay up.
Perfect.
AT&T knows the best kind of holiday is the kind where everyone gets what they wished for. Make this holiday extra happy when you buy one, get one free on our most popular smartphones. Like the Samsung Galaxy S6. Buy one, get one free. So spread some cheer and capture every minute of it. Right now at AT&T, buy one, get one free on our most popular smartphones.